Good morning. My name is Darshan Patil. Today I am going to present in front of you uh, some concepts and some execution of programs related to data analytics. So let's begin. So my name is Darshan Patil. Uh, Today my basic outline of the PPT is as follows. Question 1 is execution, question 2 is concept, question 3 is also concept related to the 1D 2D arrays and different methods. Then question 3 is execution of the program. Then and the question 4 is statistical data analytics concepts. So let's start. Question 1. So in question 1, my I'm going to explain how to load a file in an collaboratory and how to plot a graph using Seaborn library and KD is equal to false. Basically, KD stands for kernel density estimation. It is a way to estimate the probability density function of a continuous random variable. So by as it is false, by giving this command I have to plot the graph. So let's begin in Colab. So yeah, this is the Colab window. In this, what we have done, I have uh, I have imported the toyota.cv file in Collaboratory, and then I have renamed it at darshan.cv. Then moving on, I have imported different types of libraries like pandas, matplot library, numpy library, c1 library, and then I have imported this file in this code for the execution of the program. So here, what is matplot library? So matplot library is the library in which different types of functions are there, which are used to make some changes to the current file and view the file. And after this, we have typed the code which we have to execute. sns.displot in bracket cast underscore data in bracket age, and then kd is equal to false as we discussed in the ppt. So here sns dot displot is used to show the histogram uh, which I have to plot in the diagram in the output. So let's so by naming renaming the title as displot plot of age of the car, x label, that is x axis as age, and y label, that is price, y label as price, and plot dot show is used to get the output of the correct output. By running this code, we get the output as follows. So in this, the x-axis as we named is the age, y-axis is the price, the title of the graph is this plot of age of the cars, and the graph is as shown. So let's move on. Let's move to the second question. So my second question is concept related to responsibilities of a data analytics. So before moving on, let's see what is meant by data analytics. So the basic job of data analytics is to assign a numerical value to to this important business functions. So to perform can be accessed and compared over time. But this job also involves by just looking at the numbers, we should able to create an informatory pie chart or graph to represent in front of the organization or stakeholders in or the institute or the or in front of institutes. So let's move on to the second point, that is the types of data analytics. So different types of data analytics are descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. So these are the different data analytics types by which the data is analyzed. Now, let's move on to the responsibility of an data analytics. So, there are some responsibilities of a good data analytics. So they are as follows. A data analytics should um, so the major job of the data analytics is to design and maintain the data systems and database. This includes fixing coding error and other data related problems. Then mining data from primary and secondary sources that reorganizing said data in format that can be easily readable by the machine or by the human being. And by then the main concept comes into the picture, that is using statistical tools to interpret the data that we have taken. uh, by paying attention to the trends and patterns in the data that we have collected, we have to study uh, and and then demonstrate in front of the stakeholders, or in front of the institute IDs. So basically the data uh, that we show in front of the user is in the form of pie chart or bar diagram, as it is the basic basic way to communicate between the user and the input, or between the data analytics. And the last point, that is skills required to be a good data analytics. So the basic skills that are required to be a good data analytics are the technical skills and leadership skills. In technical skills, that includes the knowledge of different languages such as SQL, R, Python, spreadsheet tools such as Microsoft Sheet, Google Sheets, and data visualization software such as TableView or Quill. Ma- and so these are the technical skills that a data analytics should have. And the leadership skills include the uh, the data analytics person should be able to be made informed decisions to make the pie diagram or the diagram shown from the data in a meaningful way to the user uh, user. So these are the skills required, yeah, to be a good data analytics. So let's move on to question number 3, that is what is 1D array, what is 2D array using list, random arrays, what is zeros and ones method, what is random int array, and what is arrange method, line space, and I method. So basically, what is 1D array? So 1D array is the form of array in which the tuple consists only of one value, and this can be shown using different methods like arrange method, line space method, and I method. So the line space method is used to uh, uh, to show the 1D array in uh, to show the 1D array in different forms. In this the line space works in the following ways, such as the starting index, the mid index, and the end index is the major one. And uh, what is the random array. So to create an 1D numpy array using random values, we need to pass the length of the array to the random in bracket function. This is the basic syntax of the random array. So, what is zeros and ones method? Zeros method is the method in which the elements of the 1D array or the 2D array is directly shifted to the zeros matrix or ones matrix. So, the both methods are similar in state. Only the in zeros method, yeah, all the elements are moved to zeros, and in ones method all the elements are moved to the ones. So let's move on to the execution of the program by checking the various method discussed in the previous slide. So let's move on to the code. So this is the first code which we are going to execute. In this, we are creating a numpy array in one dimensional array. In this, a is equal to np dot array. This is the basic syntax of the numpy dot 1d array, and by printing the a, that is the array, we get the output as follows. So 5 8 12 is the output of the output of the code. So next moving to the code. In the next code, we are arranging the one dimensional array by, in this, the 5 14 12 is arranged in a such a way that all the numbers in this input are lies between 5 and maximum, that is 14. So next we are creating an numpy array using line space method. In line space method, as we discussed, 5 is the starting index and 4 is the ending index. So all the elements should it starts from 5, moving on it goes to 11.66, and it ends till 25. So all the digits between these two numbers it contains. So let's moving on. We created a program using random values in one dimensional array. In this, we have given the syntax in p dot random dot rand in bracket 7. 7 is the any integer value that we can input in it to check, and the output is seven different integer values, as we have selected random input. So after this, we are going to the next input, that is random values of two dimensional array. That is two different types of integer values. In this, 2 stands for two different arrays and 4 stands for four different numbers. So these are two different arrays in which four different numbers are there. So after this, we are checking the shape of the array. So to get the shape or dimensions of a numpy array, we should pass the comment array is equal to np dot array. This is the basic syntax, and this is the numpy array which we are interested. So in the following, we get the shape of the numpy array. So the basic shape of the numpy array in one dimensional array is 4, as there are four numbers in four integer values in a single array. So checking this by in two dimensional array, in this two array input are set here, and four different values. So as as in this, 4 is the only output. So in this, the output the output is to four different values, and so by this we have done the different types, we have studied the different types of arrays and different methods using on that. So let's move on. Question 4. So the question 4 which we so question 4 which I am going to explain is statistical data analytics. So what is the basic meaning of statistical data analytics? So statistical data analytics is a basic procedure is a basic procedure of performing various statistical operations. It is a kind of quantitative research which seeks to quantify the data and typically applies some form of statistical analysis. The data which the data involved in this depends on the quantitative data or the qualitative data. So then moving on to the second point, uh, that is the significance of data in analysis. So significance of data in analysis. So basically, first in this, the meaning of univariate or multivariate data comes into the picture. What is univariate data? So data comprising variables are univariate or multivariate are and extremely relying on the number of variables. The expert executes several statistical techniques. If the data is univariate data, different types of tests such as t-test for significance, z-test, f-test, and ANOVA test are conducted on the univariate data. And on multivariate data, different tests such as statistical data analysis or discriminant statistical data analysis, etc., takes place. So different types of then the two types of data that are discrete and continuous type. So data so the continuous data cannot be counted and change over time. For example, the intensity of light, the temperature of a room, the and etc. The discrete data can be the discrete data are the data that can be counted, that has a certain numbers of values. For example, the number of bulbs, the number of people in a group, etc. So moving on, meaning of quantitative or qualitative data. So the quantitative data are label or name that are implemented to find a characteristic of each element, whereas a quantitative data are always in the form of number that intimate either how much or how many is the value of the data. Moving on, the the data is divided into two types, that is descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So basic difference between the two is related to the process of collecting the data, analyzing the data, and the output of the data in which it is shown. So the method used for collecting data in descriptive statistics um, is is by arranging the data, analyzing and reflecting the data in a meaningful mode. Whereas in inferential statistics, the data is correlated, test, tested, and anticipated future outcomes, and the different ways in which it can be represented in front of the user is uh, in the following way. The inferential statistics is shown by finding outcomes such as probability scores, whereas the descriptive statistics are shown in the form of charts and tables and graphs. So moving on to various software programs that are available in current world to do the statistical data analytics are analysis system, that is SAS, and statistical package for social science, that is SPSS. These tool allow extensive data handling capabilities and several statistical analysis method that could examine a small chunk to very comprehensive data statistics. So basically these two tools are used nowadays to 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 measure the work and to perform on it. So so I have completed, and I hope so I was clear in explaining the concepts and execution of the program. So I have referred these two sites for preparing this PPT, um, and that's it. Thank you.